think as I do.
Who's ready to have some fun? Wait, that doesn't sound like me. Hey guys, this is Nuke, I guess. Today's matchups involve Bisu and Jaedong and freaking Flash and Stork and Cal and like every good player. But they're still going to be disappointing and subpar. So we're getting ready to start. It's going to be Action versus Beat It on Polaris Rhapsody. Tentatively excited. Yes, I'm going for that race in Mass Effect 2. I forget what it's called. It has like the octopus mouth. Yes, this is Hair Toss. Up against Mafia Zerg. Oh, a plane! Okay, here we go. Polaris Rhapsody is the map. I mentioned that in this voice. Here we go. Except, down at the 5 o'clock position in brown is Action Zerg. Up at the 10 o'clock position in yellow is Bisu. I just realized I have a voice for every player, don't I? That is a bit ridiculous. But yes, Bisu's up there, and this is a 2-player map. And could be a deciding game in this group. I wrote up kind of a short but sweet who's screwed, who's not so screwed score sheet, which I like to do at the end of round of 16s. Because once you get to about day 4 and 5 and 6, then you get some deciding games of the group. Games that decide the whole group. And we have 3 of these today, potentially, that could decide the entire groups. How epic is that? As epic as Mafia Zerg on that poster, no doubt. Looks like he's eating potatoes. Maybe that's just the way his cheeks are, I'm not sure. But okay. This matchup right here, Action versus Bisu, could decide the group. If Action wins, the group is decided, and Action and Lita will move out into the round of 8, leaving Bisu in the dust with effort. Wah, wah. And the reason for that is, after this matchup, I believe Bisu goes up against Effort, and if Bisu loses this game, that means he would go 0-2. Effort would be 0-2. So it wouldn't really matter who won between them. They'd have 1 win, 2 losses. The other person would have 0 wins, 3 losses. And that still wouldn't give them enough, because then Action will play Lita, and they'll both have a lot of wins. And one person's going to go 3-0, and the other would just have 2-1, and they'd still be able to move out into the round of 8. So that's why it works like this. And that's the reason I write up these who's screwed, who's not so screwed score sheets. So yes, those are the stakes, some pretty high stakes for Bisu. It's like a Ponderosa on Mount Everest. High stakes. I love that joke. I made that up like a year ago. Jeez, that was like in the finals. But okay, Bisu trying to deny that hatchery being as annoying as probably possible going into the main. And why don't we get some predictions here before things heat up. Here's one from Sebast Martinable, or I think, writes, Bark Power, Hair Tossed, FDW! A lot of exclamation points. Here's another one from Tuber Leet, writes, Bisu is 13-2 all-time against his opponents in Group A. Little statistic for you. Let there be no doubt he will 3-0 this group. Well, that's a little bit off. But that is an interesting statistic, if it is correct. I didn't fact-check it. So I hope you're right, Tuber. 13 wins, 2 losses in Group A. I believe it. Bisu does start off very strong in round of 16s. It's usually around round of 8 and the semifinals when he starts to break down against opponents that he really shouldn't break down against. Of course, he goes up against good players, too. I remember his Incruit run. He ended up falling to Stork in a nice best-of-3 between them in the round of 8. Those were some nice games. I would recommend going on my channel. You can search for them on my channel. I did commentaries of those games. Like the third game between them on Chipongrion was insane. Distance mining. They didn't even want to commit to a third nexus, so they had to do distance mining. Both of them. It was insane. So here's another prediction from UCZENP, Usimzip or something. Writes, Poland roots for Bisu and Stork. Protoss power. You hear that, Poland? If you're living in Poland and you're not rooting for Bisu and Stork, I'd say you'd have to move now. The entire country supports them. But Bisu has scouted this third base now. Let's get a little bit of commentary, actual commentary of this game, instead of just goofing around, reading predictions. The Hydralisk Den is up already. Uh-oh, up already. So I think that Action will try kind of a 3-hatch Hydralisk push. I don't even think he got his 4th hatch up, so I don't even think it's going to be 4-hatch Hydra. But Bisu is moving out with the Zealot. He's going to see this, luckily for him, if it does happen. He already has a couple of cannons at the front. He won't be caught completely off guard if this happens. But he was going down with that Zealot. He thinks he can use his probe to come in here and scout. Not able to sneak by the Zerglings, though, so this could be absolutely devastating to him if he doesn't scout it, because I don't see a lair anywhere. No lair for Action, so he is going for Hydralisk from 3 hatcheries. Such a cheesy build from him. One of the easiest ways to win against a Protoss player, though, to go for 3 or 4 hatch Hydra break at the front. I mean, a mediocre Zerg can beat a hell of a good Protoss by doing that build. So maybe that's why Action wants to do this. Maybe he doesn't feel comfortable going up against Bisu in this kind of a situation. He's thinking, well, Bisu, he's doing pretty good. Of course, he's not up to the level that he was when he won an MSL, got to the semifinals of an OSL, but still, I think I'm going to need a little bit of extra help here. But curiously enough, he hasn't pumped any Hydralisk yet. Maybe that's what he's doing right now. And he doesn't have his lair, so obviously he's going for the Hydralisk break. But he's giving Bisu a lot of time right now, and I think he's just trying not to reveal those Hydras. But he should be pumping Hydras right now to get them ready. He does have them out now at the front, so if Bisu does run in with a probe or something, maybe a Zealot scout, he's moving down with a small army, actually. I think he has a couple of Dragoons, maybe a few Zealots at the front. So once he sees this, he's going to have to back off because he can't really afford to lose any units in this army. He's already backing off. This is kind of interesting play from Bisu. Focusing on taking down the Overlord, that could be very bad for him. He needs to be scouting right now on this huge push that's happening. He looks very calm, so, oh geez. So, okay, he does have a couple of gateways. That could be a saving grace right now, having a couple of gateways at the front, just to hold back for long enough for it. Okay, now he's going to see this. He sees the Hydralisk coming up with that Corsair. Now he's in full panic mode. We're going to see his pupils dilate, throwing down more cannons at the front. Cheesiness coming, and I'm not sure if +1 attack is going to be ready on that forge, but only 1 cannon left. Bisu doing a pretty good job. Probes work very well against this kind of attack. Of course, that leaves you with fewer probes if it fails, but oh man, here come the Hydralisk. There are more cannons warping in, getting close. Very, very close. Bisu is good at fending off against this type of attack. Remembering his games in the Incruit OSL, I gotta bring that up again. Against July, where July went for this kind of attack, almost the exact same kind of attack, and he fended it off beautifully with probe micro at the front, and he's established so many cannons that I don't think Action's going to be able to break now. Action is trying to transition at the moment. He's going to be able to kill off 2 buildings at the front, the rotating forge and the gateway. But Bisu devoting his time and energy to taking out Overlords, going to make it tough for Action to transition into a build that can actually win from this point, because he is throwing down more hatcheries, but I don't see the lair coming from him, anything like that. And we do have quite a few cannons at the front, so Bisu should be okay for a while longer. He's trying to get his macro up and running. I think his second base just kicked in, so he can throw down as many gateways as he wants. Work up that ground army. Okay, Action going to throw down his spire and get everything going now. It's taking him a while to get everything up and kicking. But Bisu is harassing the base down at the 8 o'clock position with only Zealots. A lot of Zealots down there, though, so it might be difficult for Action to fight this off. Got to pet some Action Hydras. Doing a good job with that drone micro, though, to surround the Zealots, make it awkward for them to run in, get the damage done. So, okay, Bisu, I think that might be a scout from him or something. Not sure what he's doing with that single Zealot at the front. That is a scout from him. He wants to see, well, is he still massing up Hydras? He doesn't have quite as many as he did when he pushed. But Action on his way back to the natural expansion. He's chasing that Zealot all the way back. So maybe he wants to try another. Well, he's actually pulling back now. So Action is trying to go into a standard type of build from this failed cheese attack. Does have his lair, and he has the evolution chamber up. Going to try to make upgrades worth it, but Bisu still trying to pick off overlords. I don't think that's going to be successful. Yes, Action does come in with Hydralisk now, and Bisu's going to have to pull away. Unfortunately, he was so close to taking down an overlord.